So you want to build your own LEGO Battlebots replica? That's nice. Here's some important steps on how to make one. First, make sure you know what robot you'd like to create. Next, you'll need LEGO. Lots and lots of LEGO. Keep pouring. There we go. Don't forget the motors. Now assemble your robot. Remember, it's unwise to pour Sprite onto your build. There we go, a fresh LEGO robot ready for combat. Now it's time to test your robot. This one's looking particularly hyper. Look at it go. Don't forget to be careful when holding your robot, otherwise you could have a lengthy repair. Finally, it's time to record your fights. Stop that man from watching! Don't forget, even if you build the best robot, you can still fall victim to thermal cutout. Now the recording is done, it's time to relax and enjoy the finer parts of production, such as editing over 200 fights, drive down the pit at champs, jabbing people for footage, stare at stupid sexy philo, have an existential crisis, and if you're really bored, build another 50 robots. Remember where the fun stops? Don't. And there you have it!
Disclaimer, building LEGO robots isn't dangerous and should be attempted with reckless abandon. If you would like to build a robot for LEGO Wars, please stop pestering me and just enter it into events and I'll decide if it fits the show from there. LEGO Wars is not viable for any physical, emotional or financial stress recording or watching may cause. Spoiler alert, Smeg kills Dumbledore.
Welcome back to LEGO Wars in the penultimate heat of Series 4. Last time out it was our seeds, Duck and Sweepy, cleaning up shop as they continued their respective bracket-reaching streaks. This week is the Series 2 champions Waddle Dee Meta starting their comeback tour to regain the title alongside the 21st seeds, the Battlebricks machine Nightmare. Let's see who else will join them in this very Battlebots heat.
First, from Bournemouth and seed number 4, Waddle Dee Meta.
The Series 2 champs return with their signature head now able to adjust mid-fight to allow the spinner near unlimited options to bludgeon the field.
From British Columbia and seeded number 21, Nightmare.
The veteran Battlebricks machine has had the buggy update in the off-season to help give them more punch from that signature disc.
From Antico, Illinois, Rusty.
In their third season of action, Rusty has had significantly more fights than their heavyweight counterparts at this point, but they really need more results to keep their place in the series.
From Raleigh, North Carolina, Slammo.
With Chompy abandoning the suplexing world, Slammo is now a sole weapon representative, but they'll need to be on their A-game to overtake the almighty Danby curse.
From Birmingham, Quantum.
The second robot from Techno Andrew this year, Quantum uses the same pneumatic tech as their flipping cousin to give them more bite in the field of scary spinners. Let's kick off the action tonight with the former champs Waddle Dee starting their campaign against the newbies Slammo.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Waddle Dee Meta will start off as the favourites in this battle. Slammo, newcomers to LEGO Wars. Good attack there though by Slammo, pushing Waddle Dee Meta back into the corner. They've certainly got good pushing power. They lost in round 1 of the Rookies Cup earlier this year. Pushing Waddle Dee Meta towards the screws now though, and getting those lifters underneath that spinning dome, which don't forget can raise and lower this series. Waddle Dee Meta, bags of experience in LEGO Wars, have been around since day 1. They won Series 2. They came 4th last time around and doing damage there to Slammo's lifting prongs. But Slammo still managed to get underneath them and slam them into the side wall, living up to their name there actually. Very impressive so far, Slammo. Waddle Dee Meta are looking worried at this point. Winners of the All-Stars Championship earlier this year. They beat Atlas in a very close final. Can they get another victory here against a very solid-looking Slammo? Slammo, we didn't really get to see them much in the Rookies Cup, so it'll be good to see them here. Oh, no!
6.
Well, as soon as the pit button got pressed, they got caught out. Waddle Dee Meta, a little bit lucky there if you ask me, because I think that Slammo had their number throughout that fight. Yes, they did take damage, But apart from that, that was all Slammo getting underneath, using good control, good use of the weapon. Yes, they did take damage there, but other than that, that was all Slammo until that moment.
I guess the apologies are still in rude health as Waddledy takes the early lead. Next up, it's Nightmare against Quantum.
Robot ears, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
Interesting battle this one. Battlebots Legend versus King of Bots Legend. Classic Crusher versus Classic Vertical Spinning Flywheel. Nightmare from Canada, because it's definitely Canadian, don't forget. Seeded 21st for this series of LEGO Wars. Quantum, newcomers to LEGO Wars. They fought in the Rookies Cup earlier this year, lost in the quarterfinals there. Good attack here though by Quantum, managing to bring that Crusher down on one of those wheel modules. But it's a very awkward shape to grab a hold of, Nightmare, and they were able to slip away there quite well. Now hoping to bring that spinning flywheel in like that, but didn't do much damage, did it really? That was a bit disappointing. Nightmare, a bit of a glass cannon in LEGO Wars and in real life, really. It's splattered many robots and has been splattered by many robots. It got splattered by Pain in the round of 32 last year, don't forget. They've done well to repair the damage from that year. Quantum have hit the pit release button, so they must be confident they can get Nightmare down the pit. Bits of Quantum going flying, though, courtesy of that spinning flywheel. This is a little bit more like what we were expecting from Nightmare. We were expecting them to cause some good, serious damage. Quantum, I think, are trying to get round to the side of Nightmare and snag off those weapon chains. You can just see those weapon belts there spinning and trundling around on the left-hand side of the robot, or right-hand side of the robot as you look at it now from behind. Good battle this one, a little bit tentative. Both of us sort of trying to feel each other out, but they're both getting involved and getting in there and getting some good attacks in. Good hit there once again from Nightmare, but they've been pushed backwards now towards the screws. Has any damage been done there? I think it has, yes. Look, you can see there, one of the cables has been pulled loose, and I think that there's the weapon cable. Yes, it is. Look, Nightmare's weapon is no longer spinning. And all of a sudden, Nightmare looking very fragile out there. Good push there, though, by Nightmare. Managing to cause some more damage to the front scoop of Quantum. I've never known Nightmare to be that good of a pusher, to be honest. Fair play. Oh, goodness me! And they very nearly pushed their way to victory there. I thought Quantum were done for. Good evasive driving there by the King of Bots champion. Quantum now trying to get round. I say it's a King of Bots Legend. It is actually the Battlebots machine, but come on, it's done better. It's done better on King of Bots, so go with me here. Good driving once again there by Quantum, managing to get a hold of the weapon, or not the weapon, sorry, the wheel module of Nightmare, pinning it against the sidewall, and hoping, I guess, that the screws will do some more damage. Good grab there, though, by Quantum. Able to get a hold of the wheel now. Has that done any damage to that tyre? And if they could, tell you what, they could get themselves turned around. They could have Nightmare down the pit here. Nightmare nearly had them in the pit earlier on in this fight, but I tell you what, I think at this rate we could very well be seeing Quantum come back and cause an upset on the number 21 seeds. Nightmare are in trouble, but they had to be let go. Quantum weren't able to take full advantage of that situation. Good push in there though by Quantum once again to get underneath and pin them into the corner. Trying to bring that Crusher down again on the weapon belts maybe, although being honest, it's kind of void at this point because the weapon's already been disabled. We're into the final 5 seconds of this fight. Very good battle, very aggressive both machines.
6.
Tough one for the judges, both machines doing a very good performance there. That was a great fight. Nightmare certainly had the better weapon at the beginning of the fight, causing damage to Quantum. Quantum weren't able to really do much damage to them throughout the entire fight, to be honest. But when the weapon cable came loose there, that courtesy of the screws, the battle turned on its head, although Nightmare did nearly get Quantum down the pit there. After that, Quantum sort of dominated and certainly had the more effective weapon. Definitely a fight of two halves. Very, very close this one. I'm not too sure what way the judges are going to go. Maybe Quantum just because of the force at the end. Maybe. But we'll wait and see.
And the winner, by unanimous decision, is Quantum. An outstanding fight there as Quantum takes the 2 points in superb fashion. Waddledy still lead and can extend their lead at the top if they beat Rusty.
Robot ears, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
Now this is a battle I'm very, very excited about. Why? Because it's got Rusty in it, and Rusty is a robot renowned for getting absolutely mullered by spinners, and it's up against one of the toughest, most fearsome spinners in LEGO Wars history, Waddle-Dee Meta. Oh, goodness me. The face is gone. One of the side track protectors has already gone. They're going to go for the other one there as well. Waddle-Dee Meta had a very lucky win earlier on, in my opinion, against Slammo. But I tell you what, they could have another convincing win here. If they could win this one by a KO, that will give them 6 points. That will almost surely guarantee them a place in the bracket later on in this series. Rusty, meanwhile, will need to pull everything out here and pull out all the stops in order to get a very upset victory over Waddle Dee Meta, seeded 4th in the series, don't forget. Such a destructive robot. It's such a well-designed and well-built machine as well. A true legend of LEGO Wars, up there with the greats like Sweepy and Diabolical Toothpick. I'm joking, of course. Waddle Dee Meta. Now, trying to bring that spinner in. Now, one thing I have noticed here is that Rusty's tracks are both very much exposed, and Waddle Dee Meta hasn't managed to take advantage of that. Also, fair play to Rusty, they're still moving and they're still causing damage, which is, well, unheard of, really, when it comes to Rusty. I think they've only won one fight in LEGO Wars, now I think about it. I could be wrong, but I think they've only won one. Waddle Dee Meta hitting the pit release button, so down goes the pit. Rusty isn't really renowned for its pushing power, so I'm guessing they think they're confident and they feel confident enough that Rusty can't get them down the pit. You can see that the tracks are spinning madly, but they cannot gain any purchase on the arena floor, and now they're being pushed in towards the screws by Waddle Dee Meta. Now, is Waddle Dee Meta's spinner okay? I think it was just stuck against Rusty, or was it? Not too sure. Yes, it is just starting to spin back at the speed now. So obviously it is still working. Is it still working at 100% capacity? I'm not too sure. And I'll be honest, Rusty, you know, I know I mentioned earlier that they're known for being smashed, and I know there's quite a lot of pieces of it laying around the arena, but I tell you what, they have definitely been more resilient in this fight than they have in previous battles. And they were pushed very close to the pit there, and Waddle Dee Meta know it. They know that Rusty are doing well here, and they realise that they might have to use a pitting tactic or maybe another arena hazard in order to get a victory here, because I tell you what, Waddle Dee Meta may be a destructive machine, but it's not been as deadly here against Rusty as we thought it might be. Remember, robots like Hijinks have torn Rusty apart in the past, to the point where there was nothing left of it. So the fact that it still looks relatively the same as it did earlier on in this fight, I guess it's a testament to Rusty itself, more than anything. Although one of the arms on the hammer has now come loose. I love Rusty, it's so silly. I love silly robots, what can I say? A silly person will always love silly robots. Look at the hammer on Rusty now. It's been completely disintegrated. But fair play to them. They've survived the battle to the end.
6.
And that's a bit of a worry, I think, for Waddle Dee Meta, if anything. I don't think it's going to take too long for them to just make up their minds, but fair play to Rusty. They were able to withstand the punishment given to them early on. And I tell you what, they even gave some punishment themselves with their hammer. And Rusty, despite taking serious damage throughout, survived to the end, and Waddle Dee Meta weren't able to finish them off, and people will definitely have taken note of that in this heat. They had to rely on other tactics throughout. They've won the fight, in my opinion, but only just, which is a bit of a surprise in itself.
And the winner, by unanimous decision, is Waddle Dee Meta. The ex-champs appear to be dealing with some spin-up issues, but a winner's a winner's. They extend their lead at the top. Quantum, meanwhile, can match Waddle Dee at the top if they KO Slammo.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
Quantum there, the first to move. Very quick start from them. But did you notice there, Slammo managed to get underneath them and again, and pinning them against the arena sidewall. Good tactic there by Slammo to start this fight off. Here, they are looking to get some points after their unfortunate loss earlier to Waddle Dee Meta, but now Quantum able to get underneath them and push them back towards the pit release button. Slammo driving themselves into the screws. That was terrible driving, but now managing to use those front forks as to pry off part of the front wedge of Quantum. Quantum's self-rider mechanism is raised. Were they worried that they were going to get flicked over by Slammo earlier? Slammo backing away, hoping to come in for another attack on Quantum now. Good battle this so far. Two very good machines, very interesting robots here, fighting it out. This is what LEGO Wars is all about. Yes, we like destruction and carnage, but we also like seeing two interesting and well-designed robots giving it a real good tussle in the arena, and Slammo nearly flipping Quantum over there. Goodness me, that was close. And I tell you what, if the arena sidewall wasn't right behind them, I think they would have had them over there, to be honest. Good push there, back though by Quantum. Getting underneath Slammo and biting down. Now Slammo is very well armoured. I'm not too sure how much damage is being done by that crushing core of Quantum's, but it doesn't really matter how much damage is done. It is certainly effective by getting right in behind that front plough of Slammo and now dragging it around. And if they can get the pit button pressed, they could have Slammo down the pit here. Can they do it, or have they not got enough traction? I think they do. I think they're struggling to pull them along here. Oh! And they managed to pull off the entire front plough now of Slammo. And they've hit the pit release button. So they must be confident they can get another bite in on them and send them down the pit. Slammo going to use those front forks of theirs to get the advantage. They've definitely got the better ground game. They keep getting underneath them quite easily, but they aren't able to take advantage of it at the moment. Quantum pushing them back. This is a really good battle, this. Very, very close. Very, very even. Slammo aren't taking any prisoners themselves here. They managed to cause some more damage to that front wedge now of Quantum's. One of the front little wedge sidelets has come up, and they've nearly got them down the pit, and they nearly threw themselves in. Goodness me, this is nail-biting stuff. Two very different, very good, very entertaining machines, giving it a real good tussle. More pieces of Quantum going flying off there. Who's had the more effective weapon? Who's been the more aggressive? Who's been the more controlled? This is fantastic. Very, very close. Could well go to the judges, and if it does go to the judges, I tell you what, I don't know how they're going to decide who's done it. A little piece of Quantum there seems to be stuck underneath Slammo, but they're okay now, freed from that little piece. That was stopping them from moving in a straight line. I'll tell you what, if Quantum had left them there, they could very well have actually won on a judge's decision if it does indeed go to the judges, but I don't think it's going to. No, Slammo grabbed and pitted. What a fight that was, though. Fantastic stuff. Do you hear that? That's the judges breathing a sigh of relief that they haven't got to make a decision there, because that was very, very close. Very close indeed. Slammo certainly showing good aggression and control early on, causing damage and using his lift as well. But then Quantum didn't want to get shown up, pushing them back, getting the claw in and doing serious damage to the front of Slammo, pulling off its front plough. More damage was done to their wedge though. Good driving from both machines. Very, very close. But in the end though, Quantum just came out on top.
Another brilliant display from the Crusher does enough to overpower the suplexer and match the 4th seed score. Nightmare and Rusty are up next as they both try to catch up with the leaders.
Robot ears, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
Battlebots old versus Battlebots new. Nightmare versus Rusty. Rusty starting the quicker there, managing to run to the centre of the arena. Nightmare bringing that spinner up to speed, not causing any damage on that first leg. Or did it? No, it did. It managed to take off one of the little protection pieces, and another piece there goes flying as well. Now Rusty, don't forget, did survive relatively unscathed against one of the Meteor. I say relatively unscathed. It still took some serious damage, but nowhere near as much as it usually does. And I tell you what, they're also withstanding the power of that flywheel of Nightmare. Nightmare, what's going on, guys? What's happening here? Are they dancing in the centre of the arena? We don't like dancing in LEGO Wars, like destruction and mayhem. Come on, kill each other. Oh, that's a little bit better. Rusty's face getting absolutely demolished, as is the way with LEGO Wars, let's be honest now. But Nightmare, again, not managing to cause the kind of significant damage that is needed in order to KO Rusty in the early stages of this battle. There is still quite a lot left of this fight, though. They could still get a convincing KO victory here. Remember, they had that fantastic battle earlier against Quantum. They lost their spinner partway through. They better hope that doesn't happen again here. They've managed to snipe shot one of the arms on that hammer of Rusty's. Rusty's hammer is now not as effective as it was earlier on in the fight. Rusty trundling away, trundling along. The pit is there. They want to get away from there because Nightmare could hit the pit release button and send them down. But now Nightmare's over the danger zone. Rusty weren't able to take advantage of it, but they have hit the pit release button right on the edge of the pit, but just managing to get away. Good evasive driving there by Rusty. Can the Canadian Nightmare, because it's definitely Canadian, don't forget, take advantage? They nearly did there. Goodness me. Rusty, good driving there to get away from there. Very good battle, this one, in a heat full of great fights, to be honest. The hammer's been completely disintegrated once again on Rusty as it gets pushed towards the pit. It's on the verge of the pit. Oh no, I don't think they can get away from there now. And it's only a matter of time until they topple themselves down. And that's a 3-point win for Nightmare. Ooh, another good fight there between two very interestingly designed yet very different robots. Nightmare certainly had the more effective weapon, causing the more damage, and being honest, I'd say it was probably the more aggressive and the more controlled of the two as well, judging by how Rusty lost. Its face got smashed up, its sides got smashed in, its hammer got destroyed as well, and eventually they said sayonara to themselves and sent themselves into the abyss.
A brave display from Rusty, but it was not to be as Nightmare pulls within a point of the leading duo at the halfway stage. Those leaders are up next in a fight that's surely going to decide tonight's victors.
Robot ears, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
We're just over halfway through this heat, and both these machines sitting at the top of the table with 5 points apiece. I thought Waddly Meta would have 6 at this point, but hey, they've still got plenty of time to bring it back. with that spinner of theirs. Quantum have been very impressive so far. They've won a judge's decision and they had a KO victory of their own. Both very close, hard-fought fights, but they did come out on top in the end, so they're obviously doing something right. Good driving there to get around the back of Waddle-Dee Meta, and Waddle-Dee did good driving there to bring their spinner into the crushing mechanism. They're going to do damage to that crushing mechanism. As you can see, either side of it are the switches, and if any of those get ripped away, we could see the weapon get taken out. Quantum unable to grab a hold of Waddle-Dee Meta on that occasion. Waddle-Dee Meta got away a little bit too easily there, if you ask me, to be honest. But now, can Quantum bring that crusher into the rear of Waddle-Dee Meta? That was a good shot there by Waddle-Dee Meta, and another one there, and that's what I was talking about, those little switch blocks there. One of them's been ripped away, and again. And I tell you what, that could be the end of the weapon of Quantum. They're going to have to do some real good evasive driving here. I think the core is still working. Yes, it is. Good driving there by Quantum. Oh, they've got Waddle-Dee to have the pit. What an upset. Fantastic work. They knew they were in trouble, and they sought to it very quickly. Waddle-Dee Meta, you know, is definitely underperforming in this heat, in my opinion. Quantum with a fantastic victory under its belt there, and another KO win at that. Waddle-Dee Meta unable to do the damage where it mattered. Yes, they did manage to get one of those switch blocks loosened, and they got another one completely ripped away entirely there, look. But Quantum were able to use superior driving to get them towards the pit and eventually down.
Despite 2 direct hits to the receivers, Quantum dumps the former champs down the pit as they look almost unbeatable tonight. That result does give Nightmare an opening to overtake their fellow seeds if they beat the so far pointless Slammo.
Robot ears, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
Slammo will be desperate for a win here. They currently sit at the bottom of the table with 0 points. Good aggressive start by Slammo, grabbing a hold of Nightmare, getting those grabbers on either side of the spinner. They weren't able to lift them up on that occasion. Underneath now, the huge ground clearance of Nightmare. That was always going to be a weakness against someone like Slammo, but Nightmare able to keep themselves on their wheels, trying to use that spinner, but Slammo's a very, very sturdy machine. Slammo are on a warpath here against the number 21 seeds, aren't they? Slamming them into the arena sidewall again and lifting them up into the air. Can they get them? Can they get them? Yes, they can! Toppling Nightmare up and onto its side, and there is nothing that Nightmare can do from there. Nightmare currently sitting with 4 points on the table. They're not going to get any more here, I don't think. It's only going to be a matter of time until they get counted out, and that was a very famous and very impressive win there from Slammo. Giving them little gentle nudges, really, finally toppling them over for good. They're being counted down. There's nothing Nightmare can do from there. And Slammo have managed to get themselves their first 3-point victory of the series.
6.
Is it too late? Only time will tell. That was fantastic stuff there from Slammo. Great driving at the beginning to stop the spinner from spinning. They managed to get underneath Nightmare's huge ground clearance there. Couldn't quite take advantage of it, but there was nothing Nightmare could really do to them. And here was this fantastic drive, getting underneath them, grabbing them by the wheel, and eventually rolling them over. And after that, Nightmare had no hope. Well done, Slammo. Fantastic victory.
Out of nowhere, Slammo are right back in the hunt to progress as Quantum are now confirmed as this heat's winners. They can cap off an excellent night in their final fight against the bottom of the table, Rusty.
Robot ears, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
I think Rusty need a miracle here. Quantum have been very impressive thus far in this heat. 3 victories under their belt. They're pretty much guaranteed to be in the bracket at this rate. Rusty, meanwhile, will have to get a very convincing win here in order to stay in contention, because their campaign hangs in the balance for this year. Their face has already come off. The eyes are still on though, so they should still be able to see where they're going. Bringing the hammer down onto Quantum, trying to cause some damage to the grabbing claw, and again, didn't manage to do anything with that attack, though. Good driving there by Quantum to get around the side of Rusty, avoiding the hammer completely and bringing down those biting jaws into the tracks. Can they damage the tracks? Not too sure, but good control and aggression there from Quantum. Weapon effectiveness as well. They've also pulled off one of the side protectors, so damage has been done courtesy of that crushing beak of theirs. It's a very effective weapon on Quantum. It may not be the most deadly, but it is effective. It can grab robots, it can cause little bits of damage here and there, yes. But Rusty, what are you doing? Why are you slamming into the arena side? Oh, it's Rusty. Why am I questioning it? Why am I questioning it? But yes, Quantum, very effective machine indeed. It's just so good at grabbing robots and dragging them around. Remember, that counts towards weapon effectiveness, one of the 3 judging criteria. It's why they've been so effective in this heat thus far. And now biting in on the hammer of Rusty and bending and warping it. Now, can they snap the hammer, I wonder? This is a time when we're going to really see how much damage that claw can do. They couldn't do it on that occasion, and they had to let Rusty go. Rusty managing to get out of the danger there, and then throwing themselves side onto Quantum. That wasn't the best option you could have gone with there, lads, I'll be honest. And now they're being pinned in once again, and the jaw coming down. Rusty's hammer now hitting the arena side wall. It's all good hitting the side wall, guys. You need to hit Quantum. Well, they're kind of hitting it there. I'm not too sure how effective those shots were, but hey, I guess it was aggressive, and at least they're getting some aggression points on the board. But Quantum, for me, controlling this fight. It's such a well-driven robot. It's so well designed. It pivots almost, doesn't it? It spins with its front staying in the center, therefore keeping its front wedge facing its opponents at all times. It's a very well-built, very well-designed robot. Although Rusty, I'm going to get to the side there. Now, they could do that again and bring that hammer down. They could do some damage to those little pistons at the back that power that crusher. And I think that was what they were trying to do there, the Battlebots machine, but they didn't quite manage it. Quantum now scooping them up, pushing them into the sidewall. Good driving there, and I think they've managed to break one of the arms of the hammer. They have! And that means that Rusty's hammer is once again only attached by one of those arms. Good grab there once again from Quantum, grabbing a hold of Rusty, and now they're going to try and push it towards the pit, but Rusty, lucky break there, a piece of armor fell off, and that meant they could break free. Not too sure it's completely lucky. They did take damage after all, but they're going to go. I tell you what, they made it to the final 10 seconds, and I think Rusty here could make it to the judges. Now, that's fair play to Rusty. I didn't think they were going to get this far in that fight. C's called. It's going to go to the judges. I think I know who's won, but fair play to Rusty for lasting as long as it did. Great stuff. Good battle, that one. Yes, it was a little bit one-sided in Quantum's favour, but Rusty didn't give up. Constantly being aggressive, constantly being on the attack. But Quantum, just better driven, better controlled, and sad to say, had the more effective weapon throughout, able to bite into Rusty several times and control it. Yes, Rusty was aggressive, and yes, it did keep coming up back for more. But Quantum, for me, just too powerful and too well driven, and it should get the judges' nod here after a very dominant performance.
And the winner, by unanimous decision, is Quantum. As Quantum goes undefeated tonight, that single point for surviving has given Rusty a lifeline into their final fight with Slammo. Both robots need a KO to have any chance of survival, so let's see who's got enough left in the tank.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
Oh, very quick start there from Slammo. They know they need to get an early start in this one. They are desperate for a KO victory here. 3 points on the board will not only see them potentially getting a chance at a redemption round, but might even see them getting a chance at the bracket later on in the series. They had a bit of a rocky start to this heat, but I tell you what, that victory over Nightmare earlier on really did give them a second chance in this heat. Rusty, we know, are finished for this series. However, it will be nice to see them get some extra points on the board. Not too sure how well they're going to do though, because Slammo, very quick, very aggressive, pushing them towards the screws and into the screws now. Those screws have been a very effective arena hazard this series of LEGO Wars. Don't forget they took out Agrobber all the way back in Heat A of this series. How many of you remember that far back, I wonder? Good shot there by Rusty onto the top of Slammo. Slammo pushed him into the pit release button, grabbing a hold of them now and in towards the pit, but Rusty just surviving. Fantastic work there from Rusty. Good survival instincts. I thought Slammo had them there. Rusty's face has fallen off, which has left a sort of an exposed gap at the front. And that now, I'm sure, will make a perfect target for those lifting, grabbing prongs of Slammo. Slammo coming around the side of Rusty now, trying to push them towards the arena side wall, and does so. Rusty bringing down the hammer. I'd say Rusty's hammer has been the more effective weapon at the moment, just due to the fact that it's hit them several times. But control and aggression are definitely belonging to Slammo at the moment. Rusty's hammer's once again snapped at the seams there, it seems to me. It's once again hanging on by a thread. They really must fix that for future series. They really must. Good driving there, though, by Slammo, using the prongs once again to hook Rusty's hammer and drive it around the arena. Now slamming them towards the screws again. Can Rusty get away from there? Good driving once again by Slammo, getting that prong right into that face gap. Look where the face was. And can they now use it? Can they pry them towards the pit of oblivion? They get away or do they? Oh, yes, they do. Good evasive driving once again there by Rusty. Good battle, this one, in a heat full of good battles. Could be heat of the series at this rate as far as I'm concerned. Is Slammo's lifting prong okay, or is it stuck in the air? Not too sure. They got a hold of Rusty once again, slamming them into the arena sidewall. Slammo nearly driving down the pit now. Don't ruin it now, chaps. You finally got a second wind in this heat. Don't throw it away with silly driving like that. Good push again by Slammy, but again, Rusty avoiding the pit. This is great stuff. Fantastic. Will Slammo get a KO victory, or will it go to a judges? No, it won't. Slammo get Rusty down, and the 3 points they needed. Another terrific battle, that one. Rusty really did give it their all. Fair play to them. They got several good shots in with the hammer, but you just could not deny the pushing power and speed of Slammo, and mixed with those fantastic grabbing lifters. This really could be a robot to watch out for later on in this series if it makes it to the bracket or the redemption rounds. Like I said, I think they are in contention now. Good driving, good control all throughout, and whilst Rusty did give it a good go, they couldn't avoid the pit in the end.
Back-to-back KOs for Slammo have certainly put our seeds in danger heading into the last fight of the night. Any kind of win for Waddledee will be enough to take them through to the bracket, while Nightmare needs a KO to progress, so let's find out who's surviving tonight.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
So as usual, the two seeds clash in the final battle of the heat, and it's going to be a destructive one. Two big spinners, and immediately Nightmare slamming into Waddledee Meta there, trying to bring that spinner in and break the spinner of the number 4 seeds and former reigning champions. Nightmare currently with 4 points on the board, and Waddledee Meta with a surprisingly low number of 5. Goodness me, something went flying there. I think it was one of the little arms on Waddledee Meta. Now, those are only for show, so that's only superficial damage. It shouldn't worry them too much, but remember, Waddledee Meta got taken out in the last wars by Emulator, another vertical spinner, so they will definitely be worried about Nightmare. Nightmare is a very good robot when they can get that weapon working, and when they can bring it in to get those good hits. At the moment, I'd say they're on top of this one at the moment. Waddledee Meta going for the pit button, didn't quite hit it on that occasion. Now going for that wheel area, but wasn't able to get a good shot on it. They finally get the pit down. A good KO victory for either of these two machines will guarantee them a place in the bracket, but at the moment, they're currently below Slammer, which is a bit of a surprise. And depending on who wins this one, and whether it's by the judges or not, we could actually have to see the first ever tiebreak in LEGO Wars history. Though I'm not too sure how likely that is at the moment. A little bit of body damage done there now to Waddledee Meta, and the battery packs are under there, so they're going to be worried about that. You can see there the battery pack is now exposed. And if Nightmare can get a good shot on there, we could see a big surprise. Nightmare, oh goodness me, I thought they'd thrown themselves down the pit there. And more damage being done to Waddledee Meta. This is the kind of robot that can do damage to Waddledee Meta. It's not the most protected robot at the back. Yes, he's got that very dangerous spinner at the front, but at the back there's very little protection. Oh, another huge shot there for Nightmare. This is terrific stuff from Nightmare. They've really come into this one all guns a-blazing. They know they need a good win here, and they are desperate to stay in this series. More damage being done. Goodness me. Well, I tell you what, I thought Waddledee Meta would smoke this, to be honest. Yes, Nightmare's a good machine, but it's also renowned for being quite fragile. And at the moment, the fragile one is Waddledee Meta. Look at the damage being done. Nightmare continuing this onslaught, continuing the attack, trying desperately to get a KO here. If they get a KO and beat former champions Waddledee Meta to get into the bracket, there will be major scenes in the pits, and everyone in the LEGO Wars universe will be flabbergasted, myself very much included. Both robots now locked together and doing some sort of grisly dance. They both finally get free of one another. Another huge shot there. Was it me, or did Waddledee Meta's spin look a little bit wonky there? Oh, Nightmare being pushed back! Oh, I thought Waddledee Meta had come back there, but they've just survived. How on earth is this fight still happening? This is insane! What a battle this is! The final fight of the heat, or is it? It's going to go to the judges, surely, unless Nightmare can get Waddledee down the pit. Waddledee Meta holding on for dear life. They got 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second.
6.
Damage done right at the end. What a fight that was. Oh, man. Wow, I have to get my breath back. Thank goodness I'm not asthmatic. So, for me personally, I think there's no real question there. Nightmare, by far the more aggressive, by far the more controlled, and by far they had the more effective weapon. If the judges don't go for Nightmare here, I want to know what battle they watched. But Waddledee Meta, looking very fragile throughout, took serious damage and many big hits. They did nearly come back there, but good driving from Nightmare kept them in. What a fight that was.
And the winner, by unanimous decision, is Nightmare. With Nightmare taking a well-earned JD, we're left with a bit of a predicament table-wise, as Waddle Dee, Nightmare and Slammer are all tied on 6 points, leaving us with no other option to have LEGO Wars' first sudden death rumble to decide 2nd through 4th. With the limitations we have on the receiver channels, both spinners are allowed to hardwire their weapons, but other than that it's a free-for-all, so let the chaos begin.
Robot ears, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
So, just to confirm then, this is a 3-way tussle, a tie-break if you will. The robot that comes first will get the next place in the bracket along with Quantum. The robot that comes second will get a chance of redemption, and the robot that comes last will be out of LEGO Wars for this series. So everything to play for here. Number 21 seeds Nightmare, getting a piggyback with Slammo and nearly toppled over, but able to survive it there just about. Down goes the pit courtesy of Slammo. There's Waddle Dee Meta, the number 4 seeds and former reigning champions. I did not think we would have to see them in this period or in this part of a heat having to actually fight for a chance to stay in. I thought they were the favourites to win this heat. Nightmare being pinned in there by both machines but managed to get away. Slammo haven't really done much so far in this fight, but it's been the 2 spinners that have been mostly involved in it. Can Slammo get back involved in this one? Nightmare very close towards the pit of oblivion and on the verge of the pit, and they're down, they're out, they're finished. Nightmare are gone, so now it's between Slammo and Waddle Dee Meta to see who will get the last place in the bracket and who will have to fight through the redemption round. Slammo with a good aggressive start here on to Waddle Dee Meta. Now remember, Waddle Dee beat Slammo in the very first battle of this heat, so they will be desperate to get revenge here. Slammo, and they're pushing Waddle Dee towards the pit. Are we about to see an upset? Yes, we are! The number 4 seeds down. They have to go through the redemptions, and Slammo, with the biggest comeback story of the series, are in the bracket. Well, what a terrific first time for a 3-way dance that was. I honestly thought Waddle Dee Meta were going to come back into this one, but Nightmare and Waddle Dee Meta both took serious damage to their spinners early on, and I think that's really what cost them here. Slammo, yes, they weren't too invested at the beginning, but once Nightmare went down the pit of oblivion on its own accord, might add, they were able to just suffocate and dominate Waddle Dee Meta towards the pit, and Waddle Dee Meta had no choice but to go down. Well done, Slammo. Brilliant stuff.
And with the spinners fizzling out, Slammo seizes the opportunity to take that confirmed spot in the bracket and end Nightmare's season in the process. It's been an incredible night in the arena with arguably the best heat of the year, as Quantum aced all 4 of their fights in a brilliant display, while Slammo pulled off the comeback of the series so far to qualify and Waddle Dee just scraped through. That's all from us tonight, but join us next time when last year's runner-up Emulator and the 23rd seeds Katten and Moidia come out to play in the final heat of Series 4, where we'll be deciding the final spots in the bracket. For now though, I've been your host David and Smeg, and we'll see you in the next one.
JD is not been big yet. Maybe it's that one. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, okay, so they don't break off as easy now.
Do you want to restart?
Shall we restart that?
Yeah.
I just put ring minutes on it.
We keep recording.
Let's start that.